Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Scruffy's Guide to Valheim, and in this episode we're going to be looking at how to survive in the mountains, what you're going to be finding there, how to use the wishbone and all of that good stuff. So stick with me and I will lead you through it. First things first, it's no point going to the mountains really unless you have defeated the bone mass and got the wishbone, because the main purpose of being there is to gather silver so that you can get the next levels of armor and equipment. So if you do find yourself in the mountains before that point, you're probably going to start freezing, and that should really be an indication that perhaps you should stop what you're doing and just go home and do something else instead. So when you first arrive in the mountains, you are going to be wearing iron armor, which you should really have taken the time to have upgraded as far as you possibly can. So it looks kind of a bit like this. And you should also have a banded shield. So there's that, but what you're going to be aiming to get, oops, that's my food chest, as soon as you possibly can, is this gear here, which is a wolf cape and a drake helmet, plus wolf armor legs and wolf armor chest. But the first thing you really need to do in order to even get anywhere near any of that is to make yourself some of this frost resistant mead. Okay, so you do need this unless you've already managed to somehow kill some wolves and make yourself a wolf cape, but I don't think you can even do that without actually first having silver. I'm going to go double check that now. Wolf cape, there you go. So the basic wolf cape is 1 wolf trophy, 4 silver and 6 wolf pelts. So really the first time you go to the mountain, that's the kind of thing that you want to be bringing back, because once you've got one of those capes you no longer need a frost resistance potion. You can just go up there and you're okay. So aside from all of that, let's go and see what the mountain looks like and talk you through it. Well, first things first, whenever you're going to go anywhere new in this game, is to build yourself a portal to somewhere nearby. So basically this little portal, which is now called Cold, leads me straight back home and pops me out here, where I'm basically on the border of the meadows. There's a black forest over there and there's a mountain up here. So that's convenient. Make yourself one of those. It's going to save you some time and effort. But without any further ado, let's get on up there. So just remember, make sure if this is the first time you're visiting and you don't have the appropriate cloak, drink your frost resistance potion now. So moving on, there's a few things that we're going to look at. Let's go and see what we can find. Second thing you need to remember to do is equip your wishbone. Right. Thing 1, it's getting a bit snowy and a bit difficult to see, but just up here are a pair of wolves, and I'm slightly annoyed that it's just got foggy because you now can't see them at all, because what that means is I'm going to have to basically go and get them and beat them up a bit. When you first arrive here, if you get swamped by a pack of wolves, you will die almost immediately because they do a ridiculous amount of damage. Now I'm wearing padded iron armor, which is kind of end game stuff, or nearly end game stuff, so it doesn't really bother me as much. But if I was in here just in my normal basic iron armor, then you've got a real problem, because if you fail to block, it's 69 points of damage. So, you know, I've got 132 health at the moment because of the combination of food I've eaten, so I'm okay, but you know, I'm also eating end game food in the shape of lox meat, which perhaps I shouldn't do. I should have been eating sausages, cooked meat and turnip stew. That would have been what I should have been doing, but I've kind of made it easier for myself by eating some end game food here, so apologies for that. It's not really cheating. So that's wolves. That's the first thing. Now this snow is really going to put a crimp on my showing you anything, so I think what I'm going to have to do is kind of wait out the snowstorm and maybe bring you back when the sun is shining. This here is a chunk of obsidian, and you find that just lying around on the surface. It's basically like a rock with grooves in it. Sometimes they're covered in snow, Other times they are not covered in snow. They are normally kind of blacker than your average rock, so you should be able to spot them from far away. And obviously when you get nearer, they actually do tell you what they are. Obsidian is used to make arrows, really good nifty arrows. So you will need a couple of sort of runs to pick up a load of obsidian and then bring it back. I'm sliding down a mountain, I need to stop that. And then bring it back to your base and you can make arrows from it. It's a question of every now and again just coming to a mountain, restocking with obsidian and then taking it home. So you might need to pocket dimension some of that as well, because I think that's non-portable, but let's just double check. Whoa! If I stand on top of it. Make myself an obsidian mining platform. I seem to have attracted a drake. That was 2 obsidian. Can you transport? Yeah, actually you can transport obsidian through a portal, so you don't even need to cheat when you collect it, so that's good news. Right, this is a drake. I did explain what these were in a prior video, but I don't think it ever made it to the off the cutting room floor. So drakes. Drakes are one of the 3 kind of things which you will meet up here which will try and kill you. Drakes, wolves and stone elementals. Drake's attack pattern is very, very straightforward. They fly away, they fly back, they hover, they fire 3 chunks of ice at you. The best bet is wait until they stop and then just shoot them in the chest. And drakes drop a couple of things. They drop frost glands, which are used to make frost arrows, as well as obsidian. And they also drop trophies, which are used, you need a couple of them to make a drake helmet, which is the helmet which sort of goes along with the wolf armor set that you're going to be making for yourself while you're here using all the silver. So let's go and see if we can find a stone golem and show you what they look like. Stone elemental. Is it stone elemental or stone golem? I'm not even sure. I just need to re-food myself. This is a stone golem, and this is by far and away the most lethal thing you're going to find on the mountain. Its punches do around about 100 to 120 damage, and it is, well, it's made of rock. So it's pretty hard to smash up, and I'm not even sure which is the best weapon to use it, but I'm going to be using my large hammer. What you should be doing, if you're wearing iron armor, if you've only just got here and only just found your first golem, then what you should really be doing is actually running away, because they're an absolute nightmare to try and beat. I'm just going to quickly deal with this drake before I deal with the stone golem. Because no one likes fighting a kind of semi-boss whilst dealing with ads. Oh, crikey, there's a wolf. Okay, we've got a 3 for 3 going on here. Right, so this is all of the baddies of this area in one location. Wolves are okay if you fight them and there's only one of them. If you fight them and there's 4 of them, chances are you're going to die. And the appropriate thing to do then is also to probably run away down the mountain. I say down the mountain because it takes a lot less stamina. Oh, he's made his way around, has he? Or is that a different one? Nope, he's made his way around. Okay, so drake's easy. I think I showed you how to kill drakes just a minute ago. Wolves, very important to block the wolves. They are very rapid in attacking and they do a lot of damage in numbers. Alone they are fine. This thing, absolute nightmare. Do not do what I'm about to do unless you've got the armor and the ability to block that amount of things. If you fight these while you're running out of stamina, that's death almost immediately. If you get the blocks wrong, that's death almost immediately. And bearing in mind I'm using Frost Near, I'm literally doing pants all damage. And I'm just going to have to wait for my stamina to come back a little bit. Remembering to block. Now that partial block let through 24 damage. And that's absolutely the importance of not getting it wrong. Or maybe that 24 was actually just damage. Yeah, no, that's just the damage. For me and my armor, everything but 30 damage is being absorbed. When I first tried to tackle one of these, I was wearing normal iron armor, and I let one get through a block, didn't catch it on the shield, and the result was 60 or 70 points of damage. It's just kind of a no-no. But you can beat them up if you've got the right equipment. Like anything. I actually just managed to parry an attack. Oh, totally out of stamina. Run away, Joe. And just remember, blocking takes stamina. But thankfully these things do like to wander off, so you can kind of just take a wander off yourself and allow your stamina to rebuild up. Much better obviously to do this while rested. Being cold isn't really a problem up here because you'll be wearing the frost resistant thing anyway. And you don't have to worry about it being wet because it never rains up here. See, there are times when you think, oh, I'll attack. But if I did, it's all about stamina. Okay, that was kind of the perfect 3-hit block action to take me down to virtually no stamina. Just keep chugging away with these things. I normally use swords, which is why my clubs is only really level 29. I've run out. That's terrifying. Back away from the monster. Oh, on the plus side, it's nearly dead. I mean, that's probably like 6 or 7 or 10 hits to go. And it's really confused because I'm effectively on a bit of rock. There we go. Come back over here then. Here you go. Come on. Come to Scruffy. There we go. Dead. And what this drops is crystals, and I have absolutely zero idea why. 5 crystals, there you go. No idea what they do. I'm sure they will do something at some point, or perhaps I just haven't found what it is yet in my game, but we'll find out. When I do find out, I'll tell you. So back to the whole point, which was the wishbones. It's telling me that basically underneath where I stand, there's a silver vein, but I'm standing on a lump of rock. So I've got to hope that maybe it's underneath the rock. Definitely seems to be more excitable over here. So let's take out a pickaxe. Let's try and avoid smashing this rock to pieces. I mean, it's possible that the silver has spawned inside the rock, which would be a bit of a pain. Oh, or it's possible I've just found a skeleton. That's odd. Definitely seems to be telling me that it's keen for the fact that there's some silver here. Somewhere. Just keep digging. Don't lose heart. Well, in the spirit of YouTube and Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier, which is what you say when something goes wrong while you were demonstrating it and you have to fall back to something else. So basically, with the use of the flashing whoop, whoop, whoop noises that come out of the wishbone, you will eventually be led to something which is going woom, 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 and that's where you dig. Now, in the one I was just demonstrating over there, it was underneath a giant boulder, like a part of the actual rock itself. So I couldn't get to the actual silver, and when I tried to dig under the rock, it all just went a bit weird. So I've given that one up, and I've come over here to this thing that I was demonstrating in a different video about pocket dimensions. Effectively, you dig down, And then you find the silver vein. And what I did afterwards was excavated around the silver vein, just purely and simply because I wanted to share how big these things actually are. Because the first time I found one, I was a bit disappointed, and I thought to myself, I only got about 10 silver out of that. And then I went back to it later in my gaming experience after I'd realised, because actually they're huge. Or they have the potential to be huge. I mean, they're not all huge, but they do have the potential. And as I was saying this, look, I didn't even think this went over here. Let me just get that tree out of the way. But look, I just thought this was kind of vaguely boomerang shaped. But here, it's even going over here. It's trailing off into kind of the distance, as it were. And it's still going strong. That is a massive, massive chunk of silver. And they normally are massive chunks of silver. So, a couple of sort of tips I would give you for dealing with these large chunks of metal. And that is, firstly, during your kind of digging them out, you're going to build yourself a big hole. And that's kind of great, because the AI in the game doesn't really do very well with big holes. It kind of will send enemies towards you, and then they'll just sort of stand around really going, oh, you're in a hole. I can't fight you. I'm in a... And then they'll sort of run off. They'll lose interest. So that's great. Dig a big hole. That's point number one. Point number two, if you're like me and you've been in the mountains for a while, which is entirely possible because, you know, it's a big place and you will have to explore for a while, you're going to run out of rested bonus and you're going to be a bit chilly, possibly. And you're going to find, like I have, that although you've got a full belly and a massive stamina bar, it doesn't fill back up very quickly at all. So my advice is build yourself a campfire in one of these locations. Oh, I've just broken my pickaxe. But that's fine because we've basically done. Build yourself a campfire. Right? Grab yourself some wood. You're going to need a crafting table for this. It's not going to quite fit. Find a space to put a crafting table. There was one there. There you go. But, smoke inhalation. Get yourself enough wood together to effectively just build you a crap roof. Something along those lines. Whoops. And then you can stand by your fire under your roof and you count as resting. You know, have a sit down. Get your breath back. And wait for that gorgeous resting bonus to reappear. And that will just generally make everything much, much, much easier for you to handle because you'll be dealing with stuff in a way which is not ruined by having no stamina at all times. That's about it, really. Wolves, drakes, stone golems, silver, the black stones, which for the life of me the name has just escaped me. There you go, obsidian. That's right, obsidian stones. Those are the things that you're going to be collecting. Try and get yourself some wolf fur. Try and get yourself some wolf heads trophies. Try and get a couple of drake head trophies. As I said, I don't know what the crystals do from the golems. And the other thing to watch out for is dragon eggs. You will need 3. So that's that. That's basically this episode done. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about how to find the boss and how to beat the boss. So I will see you there. Until then, take care, and I hope you're still enjoying this series. Bye-bye.